Hello there, Jerrica. Thank you so much for reaching out and purchasing a reading. That really means a lot to me. I'm taking a little trip to New Orleans here soon to see my girlfriend. She lives there, and so the extra cash really helps. And as always, I love channeling messages, especially for people that I love, like you. I wasn't fully prepared. I didn't grab my cards. Let's see here. I have this new little David Bowie. Sorry, the dogs are probably going to be randomly barking throughout this. I apologize, but you know how that goes. I hope the new house is treating you guys well. It's looking really beautiful. I'm always so impressed by your design work and your just amazing thrift karma and just your ability to find such cool things, and you just have such a good eye for that stuff. So very impressive. I will try not to ramble on too much here. Let's see, I have a book that goes along with this just to kind of get some extra guidance from the Starman Tarot. My friend recently gave me this deck, so I'm pretty excited. I haven't used it for a reading for anyone yet. You'll be the first. So let's just get started. I'm using my phone because I couldn't get my microphone to work with the computer. Technology is not great. I'm not great with technology. So anywho, let's see here. We're gonna get some messages for Jerrica here. These cards are giant. I cannot shuffle them even with my giant hands. Good Lord. I hope you're having a good weekend. Also amazing that you no longer work for the man. I'm dreading going back to work tomorrow. I like my job, but I just can't fathom going on much longer, spending 8 hours, 9 hours of my fucking day working for someone else's cause. I can't stand it. So I really admire what you're doing, and I know it's got to be hard and a little scary at times, uncertain, but I think just keep pushing away at it, and you're definitely doing the right thing. You know, doing what you love, doing what makes you happy. So that is so important. Spirit, truly grateful for your guidance. Please give us some messages here today for Jerrica. Mostly general messages, but let's hear also about her new career path and just a little bit of guidance and messages with that. I have a card here that I will take. That's good news. I won't take those yet. Not quite. We will keep shuffling. So first I pulled the 10 of Pentacles for you, and this is kind of a completion, you know, a money kind of completion card. So, you know, the Pentacles don't always have to be about money, but kind of in this instance with the energy that we're focused on for your reading here, I kind of just see the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, a card just fell on the floor. I'll have to grab that in a second here. The 10 of Pentacles I see as kind of a good omen, or as far as money goes, or a completion in a sense as far as money goes, where it's like, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised as far as finances goes soon. And with the holiday season and stuff, I hope that you had a good rush of business and that you were able to make some good money and do your thing. The 10 of Pentacles, though, as the first card for your message here, kind of just tells me that there's definitely a kind of, I say completion as in like a cycle that's ending with old money and sort of beginning with new money. So, I mean, that perfectly, very well makes sense with the, oh, 2 cards had fallen on the floor. We have the Starman, which I want to read into that because that's a card that's specific to this deck. So it's kind of a big one that fell on the floor for you there. And then the Prince of Pentacles. Okay. So let's kind of go into this a little bit. I was saying something about the completion with the 10 of Pentacles. Let me see if I can refine that in my brain. Okay, so the ending of a cycle with money and the beginning of a new cycle with money is kind of what I'm seeing here with the 10 of Pentacles. So it's sort of like, you know, you took this big risk, you took this big chance. And I see that here kind of with the 2 of Wands next to it. You took this big risk, you took this big chance where there were paths. There were 2 paths specifically that you saw. And you said, you know what? I'm going to take this path that is less chosen. I'm going to go down this road that necessarily, you know, people might not think is the best path. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, how many people branch out and do what you're doing? No, not a lot of people do that. And it's not to down talk anyone else, but it's just to up talk what you're doing, because it's a very scary thing to say, like, you know what, I'm going to get out of the toxic cycles of capitalism and the toxic cycles of that 40-hour work week. And I'm sure you're probably, you know, most times putting in so much more work than what you even would for these stupid 9-to-5 jobs, working for your own business and putting your effort towards your own thing. So it's not to say that it's less work, but it's definitely your soul's work. And so I think the completion here that I see with this is that you kind of have to see money as this in and out kind of flowing thing, and that I feel like this is going to be lucrative for you. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that the effort that you keep putting in to your business and to your personal pursuits of what you're doing, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised soon at the payoff that has. You know, and it might not be right away. There's no timeline really here for this. It's kind of, time is fluid. And, you know, I can't say for sure, you know, when, but I do see that in the choice that you made with the Two of Wands here, you kind of, you know, we're up here in your head a lot, kind of thinking like, should I do this? Am I going to do this? You know, and I think it's definitely the right choice. The Ace of Swords here is kind of talking to me about having that personal power and having that empowerment to feel like, you know what? I'm supported in this. I have a partner that supports me in my goals. I have, you know, the house of my dreams suddenly, you know, and I know that I'm good at this. I know that, like, thrifting and finding vintage things and picking out those diamonds in the rough, that is something I'm good at, and that is something that I'm passionate about. And that's something that you have always been good at and that you've always been passionate about. And so it's like finally just taking charge, taking hold, and going for that. I see that as a big power move. I see that as a big personal point of improvement, not only, you know, for your financial and your business self, but for your spiritual self and for your inner self and for that inner fight that you're fighting to be happy and to, you know, do things that are fulfilling. You know, you, like I said, can spend your whole day working for someone else's cause, but you know that that's not fulfilling for you. You can't, I mean, people like us, I don't want to say, you know, we're so special or whatever, but people like us who are on a very soul level, like passionate about the things we love, it's hard for us to just turn that off and be robots all day for the man or for society. And so I'm seeing a lot in this energy of, I'm just getting really positive omens about that path. And I mean, you know that it's going to be a lot of work. But it's sort of like anytime you start a business, there's either a lot of capital you have to put down or a lot of upfront movement that you have to do before that payoff comes or before it starts to kind of culminate and sort of retroactively kind of work for itself. And I feel like that's going to come where it's like, okay, I've put in all this work up front, and then it's going to start moving on its own. It's going to feel like there's going to be sales made here, sales made there. And so I think definitely just keep pressing on and keep pushing. Let's see what the Starman is all about here. Where did that book go? Oh, it's right here. The Starman. David Bowie is such a great musician. And it's really cool that they made a whole tarot deck all about him. And that there's his own very special card. Starman. So I'm going to read a little bit to you about the Starman card that literally fell on the floor. I don't know if you remember that, but the two cards that fell on the floor as I was drawing for you, which I'm always like, whoa, shit, if a card falls on the floor, it's either because I'm clumsy or because it's really a message that wants to be told. So I got the Starman that fell on the floor for you and the Prince of Pentacles. So we'll talk about that stuff. But I'm going to read from this book for a little bit here. So it says, the Starman, I will blow your mind. The Starman is an attractor field through which we can observe the self we believe to be true. We are being invited to see the inherent nature of the human condition and look at what has been fashioned by culture through the ages and belief and value systems we have simply adopted. His glorious presence awakens us to see another realm entirely, and in that resonant, seemingly irrefutable facts are seen as fictions. We see the Starman bringing the seed of transformation to the world, carrying the weapon that compels us to self-destruct in one hand, and the golden key that unlocks one supreme potential in the other. The luminous one descending to earth with his arms outstretched, the alien Messiah, a vision of ecstatic color, light and fire, molecular worlds streaming tendrils of life-giving substance, traveling through space, surrendered in time, ripples in the exosphere, his presence shimmering with ancient symmetries, waiting for the moment to reveal his power because he knows it will blow our minds. Oh, so in reference to the David Bowie songs, of course, I love that. A palpable sense of creative potency hangs in the air, a hidden potential demanding to be realized, the dissolving of the starman's solid form into the golden pool of liquid light, the sheer willingness to melt himself down, to be reborn as something fresh, something new, but contains all of the elements woven from the past, is a powerful metaphor. We too can place the personality and the various jaded facets of ourselves into the flame of the creative fire, to be reconfigured in even more liberating and expressive and complex ways. This is fitting so well with what you were hoping to find some guidance in. I think, anyways. We must throw ourselves into the white-hot flames, and despite this heat and sheer intensity, which we cherish, something complete and comfortable with great intrinsic value, apparently I can't read, and yet be courageous and break it down, to trust the Starman as he propels us towards the possibility of discovering what we didn't know that we didn't know. Revealing the raw components of life with all the thoughts, frailties, passions, and anxieties which we can now transform and recombine into something powerful, impactful, and extraordinary. Okay, so there's no reverse for this card, which is great because it didn't come in the reverse, but it's also the Alchemist card, it's saying. So essentially, manifest your realities. Ideas are communicated and brought into the physical world with ease. You have everything you need to create the world you desire. Reconfigure yourself in liberating, expressive, and complex ways. So I'm glad I read that because to me, it's really just talking about, it kind of had that theme of the values that we sort of adopt and have learned as things we're sort of just supposed to do, like having a 9-to-5 desk job. And so many people just sort of accept that. But what you've done is much different. What you've done is said, you know what? I know that there's another path for me. I know that there's another option for me. And it doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to have this bullshit life where I'm just working for someone else's cause all the time and just feeling like a fucking robot and a portion of the machine. And so this card for you, I really see as just kind of an embodiment of that power and that feeling empowered to kind of take that leap of faith and to kind of Hail Mary it and say, you know what? I need money to survive, but I know that there is abundance to be had, which brings me kind of to this Prince of Pentacles here. I know that there is abundance to be had in the ways that I want to do that. And I don't need to sell my soul in order to have the life that I want. And I don't need to sell myself short in doing things that I'm not passionate about, because life is way too short for you to not be doing exactly what it is you want to do, which is literally what you're doing. So I think you know that, and I think being reminded of that is really important sometimes. So let's get some more messages here. But I feel like so far that feels really good, and definitely affirmations. I think the Prince of Pentacles also having it be at the end with the Ten of Pentacles at the very beginning is sort of just another good omen about the money thing and the sort of cycle of the money having the completion. And then having the Prince, which is also like sort of a bit of a new beginning, or a bit of a, you know, how do I say this? Taking a chance and believing in yourself and believing that, you know, maybe for a while I'm not going to have as many luxuries as I might have once had when I had this very steady, solid income, because it's probably not as steady, you know, it's probably ups and downs when it comes to having your own business. I don't know for sure. With the tarot thing, though, I can kind of relate, because sometimes I sell a lot of readings and sometimes I sell none at all. And So I think, you know, just kind of holding that faith that if you keep putting in the work and you continue to be consistent, that the results will continue to be consistent, and that the results will continue to flourish, and you will continue to grow, and in divine timing, I mean, it will all kind of come out in the wash. And so, yeah, let's get some more cards for you here. Spirit, truly grateful for your guidance. Give us a few more messages for Jerrica here, please. I had a card pop out here, so I'll take it. It's the Ten of Swords. Spirit, truly grateful. Please send us a few more messages here, some guidance for Jerrica, please. And thank you. If I can manhandle these cards enough to shuffle them. Had a card flip upside down in the deck, so I will take it. We have the Princess of Cups. The artwork in these cards is crazy. I'll take these. I'll read this reversal. I wasn't sure I was going to do reversals. I didn't have any reversals for you up until now, but I will. We'll see. We'll see what message that brings us when we read it in reverse. Spirit, any more messages? Oh, okay. Definitely a message there. Let's see. Okay, we'll read this in reverse as well. As the Nine of Wands. All right. I've been kind of all over the place with my spreads. I never really follow a particular spread. Just sort of whatever I'm feeling at the time I go with. But that's sort of how I do everything. So I don't know if it's right, but we're going to work with it. Ten of Swords. So this talks to me kind of about an internal conflict. Sort of just this battle that you've been having within yourself. And it kind of comes from your roots. Some reconciling or recognizing past behaviors or patterns within yourself and within your life that you don't want to carry anymore. So this might not have much to do with your career. This might be more, and it could actually too relate to that. But this seems more personal in a sense of kind of old wounds that you have been working towards healing. Kind of like old patterns, like I said, that you don't want to continue, or that you're kind of saying like, you know what, I've been battling with myself about this long enough. Oh, the cat's playing the piano now. That's great. He's been practicing. Kind of this battle that you've been having within yourself that you sort of, you kind of have come to feeling at a bit of a loss with. But I would say when I see the Princess of Cups here next to that, I would say that there's going to need to be, or there has been in the recent times, some emotional purging or some emotional baggage that you've kind of set down and said, like, you know what? This has been going on for too long. And this sort of not believing in myself, or this sort of negative self-talk that sometimes I get in the habit of, I don't want that anymore. I want to stand in my power, and I want to be a master of my own destiny. And I want to understand that the ways that I talk to myself and the ways that I go about dealing with things, it's all cyclical. It's all this cycle. It all comes back around. So if I can go ahead and say, like, you know what? I believe in myself. I believe in the positive movement and the positive forces that I have put out there and put into my life and into the, you know, the things that I love and the people that I love. That's all going to come back to me. But if I can continue on with this negative, kind of toxic, kind of ways of thinking, like, you know, if you're constantly thinking to yourself, like, this is never going to work, I'm not good enough, kind of struggling a little bit with imposter syndrome, which we all do. I'm not insulting you or coming at you sideways at all, because you know I 100% support you. and love you and adore you. But just the cards are talking some shit right now. But a little bit of imposter syndrome, a little bit of kind of negative self-talk is what I'm seeing. But I am also seeing someone that really would like to stand in their power and has been working really hard to stand in their power, and who is working really hard to break down those walls, break down those barriers, and say, you know what? I am doing what I want to do. I am doing what is right for me. I have people in my life that care about me and support me. And you know what? Times are tough for everyone. So not everyone can, put business towards you right now with money. But, people are sharing your stuff. People are liking your stuff. People are telling their friends about your stuff. And as that relates back to your career and your business, I think that you really just got to believe in yourself and put out those positive vibes. Sorry about that. The cat really is standing on the piano. Keep putting out that positive energy. I hate the word vibes. I don't know why I just used that. Yikes. And it's going to come back to you. I'm going to read these reversals now, which I'm going to have to kind of think here for a little second. But Princess of Pentacles in reversed. So I got really good pentacle cards for you before. So I think what this is really just representing here and now for us and you is insecurities that you've had about money, or thinking that kind of this attachment to, as it relates, the material realm and the material world, and thinking to yourself like, do I have to have this regular government job? Or like, ooh, this could maybe even pertain to like taxes and things like that, where maybe you've had some in your mind insecurities about how the fuck am I gonna like keep track of everything? How the fuck am I going to, do marketing as well as do all of the shopping for and sourcing for and setting up for and design for this business? How am I going to do all of that social media outreach as well as the business aspect of it? Like, can I handle all of this? That's kind of what I'm seeing with these reversals. Just like insecurities in your mind that you've been having about that stuff. But honestly, I would say to combat that, like, at the bottom of the deck here, I have Temperance. So to combat that, I would say have patience with yourself and kind of go into it with this really gentle mindset towards yourself, because you're trying your best. You are learning things about business and about running a business and about being a businesswoman, business person, that you never knew before. And you're doing a fucking great, fantastic, phenomenal job. So what this Temperance card tells me at the bottom of the deck here, which we will use to kind of wrap this up, is that despite all these kind of, things that are coming up as potential problems or bumps in the road, you've got to have patience with yourself. And that's not to say like be at a standstill, because you're working hard and that shows. But also I think what this is kind of telling me, or what message I'm getting, is that it's fine to take a break. It's fine to take a breather. It's fine to kind of just sit down for a while and say, you know what, I've done enough today. Or you know what, I've done enough on this project. I'm going to set it down for a little bit, and I'm going to, focus on something else, or focus on some self-care, or focus on, my partner, or focus on my pets, or, something I want to do for myself, instead of just business all the time. Because as important as that is, also your self-care and your time for yourself and in your other endeavors is also very important. So yeah, I guess what I'm seeing here is not to be too hard on yourself, and to definitely be patient with yourself, and kind of just keep ticking away at it little by little. No rush. No rush is kind of what I'm seeing. That Temperance card being at the bottom of the deck there really kind of brings it full circle of like I said, that energy of just being gentle with yourself, positive self-talk, kind of breaking those old, maybe kind of toxic cycles of negative self-talk and thinking that you can't do this, or, you're not good enough to do that. Just try and abolish those thoughts. So yeah, that's about all the messages I have for you right now. I hope that resonated a little bit. Again, thank you so much for reaching out for a reading. That means a lot. I'm wishing you the very best. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will talk to you soon. Feel free to message me if you have any questions or concerns about the reading. Thank you, Jerrica. Bye.